In a gunboat outside Santiago, the Americans received the news. Allende is dead, and the general said, we made a successful coup. In the stadium, Victor Jara was recognized by a soldier in charge. Are you here to sing? Yes, I am here to sing. They took him under guard, and the years will pass, and the memories fade, and the hands of the poet still forever wait. And the years will pass, Victor Jara's dead, and the hands of the poet I can't forget, I can't forget. With knives they cut off the fingers that were made to play the guitar. 6,000 saw his hands bleeding raw, sing out a soldier snarls. And the years will pass, and the memories fade, and the hands of the poet still forever wait. And the years will pass, Victor Jara's dead, and the hands of the poet, they're bleeding yet, they're bleeding yet. With his bleeding hands he led them, 6,000 united in song. But the soldiers most feared a vision so clear, they machine gunned every one of them down. And the years will pass, and the memories fade, and the hands of the poet still forever wait. And the years will pass, we'll forgive if not forget. And the hands of the poet, they're waving yet, they're waving yet. Oh, I can see you so much better now. New York City rain. I don't know if it's making me dirtier or clean. Went for the subway, but there was no train, and the tunnel was crumbling for repairs again. And the sign said, "Welcome to American Jerusalem." Oh, I've been around. You could spend forever looking for a friend in this town, and all you get to do is lay your dollar down till you're stumbling drunk up the stairs again. And the sign says, "Welcome to American Jerusalem." In the temples of American Jerusalem, they buy an ounce of South African gold. They don't care who was bought or sold, or who died to mine it. In the temples of American Jerusalem, they buy an ounce of Marseille white. Somewhere on a street with no light, somebody dies trying it. Somewhere in a crowd, looking the kind of way that makes you turn around, will be somebody who knows what it's about. She's gonna take the ribbons from her hair again and welcome you to American Jerusalem. Of American Jerusalem, the homeless lie down at the dawn. The pretty people wonder what they're on and how they afford it. In the ashes of American Jerusalem, the prophets live their deaths out on the corner. The pretty people say there should have been a warning, but nobody heard it. Their shadows like the sun, the streets are paved with footsteps on the run. If somebody must have got double, 'cause I've got none. I forgot to collect my share again. So go west to breathe the cleansing air again. Go Niagara for your honeymoon again. Go on the road if you're going to sing your tune again. Go to sea to learn to be a man again, till you come on home to American Jerusalem. Up to the pounding of a jackhammer in the street. Oh, I reached around and she'd gone out of reach until the clock was ringing as she sat down next to me, ran her hand through my hair and said, "Hey, it's time."
They say you've got to lose before you can win. They say you've got to choose before before you can give in. And you've got to cut loose to get back again. And it's a long way back home. They say you've got to fall before you can land. They say you've got to crawl before you can stand. And you've got to lose it all to get what you planned. And it's a long way back home. And it's a long way back home. When you're standing on some place you've never known. And I might see you where the rivers flow. Like me, you're looking for a white buffalo. They say you've got to die before you can live. They say you've got to cry before you can give. And you've got to say goodbye before you can come back in. And it's a long way back home. Say you've got to see what you're going to grow. They say you've got to need what you're going to let go. And you've got to believe what you're going to know. And it's a long way back home. A long way back home. When you're standing on some place you've never known. And I might see you where the rivers flow. Like me, you're looking for say to you farewell, for we will meet again in the hottest flames of hell. I could only call you friend. And when you hear that final bell, do not ask who's round your head till you found your way back home. A long way back home. When you're standing on some place you've never known. And I might see you where the rivers flow. Like me, you're flow.
I don't know what you called it here when everything shut down for Corona and COVID. In America, we called it the pandemic. That's what this song is called, the pandemic.
In the next generation to come down the line,
I believe it was the year 2039. They asked, hey mom, what was a pandemic?
I've been hearing about it in school, and I bet it was something you'd never want to do again.
Mom sat down, shook her head and said with a grin, oh, the pandemic, wasn't that a time?
Well, said Mom, I was just in my teens.
Your daddy was trying to get in my jeans.
We couldn't travel, so we married on Zoom. The preacher in Maine, our parents back home, streamed the first kiss, had colored balloons,
made our own cake, went on our honeymoon without leaving the room. Oh, the pandemic, wasn't that a time?
Yeah, said Mom, and who could forget? The numbers kept climbing and no one protected their faces, till thousands were gasping for air, and businesses shutting down everywhere. And speaking of time, every now and then you'd hear the news of a trusted friend you knew you'd never meet again. There was no toilet paper on the shelf.
You couldn't go to work, so we kept to ourselves. Took walks in the moonlight when the curfew was gone. And I've never felt closer to anyone. And there was this guy who was like a big joke. Said no one's really dying, it's just a cruel hoax. But he was no friend of mine. Yeah, the pandemic, wasn't that a time?
It was a quiet time to reflect, said Mom.
There were 600 channels in the living room. It's amazing to me to remember today. There was never anything on anyway,
except for live concerts that with these guys I know
came on every Sunday with a different show. And somehow it eased my mind. Yeah, the pandemic, wasn't that a time?
And in the midst of it all, people took to the streets, with an unarmed black man killed by police was becoming too normal. And for the first time, the cops were made to pay for the crime. And speaking of crime, there were women and men who thought they'd overturn the government. Well, they ended up doing time. Now you knew it was coming to an end, and soon,
when you turned on the news, and every afternoon there was a shooting in a mall or a store. So many thoughts and prayers you couldn't take anymore. It was easier to buy a gun than to vote. We had to dig deep to keep the ship afloat for the next generation to come down the line. That's what Mama said back in 2039. Yeah, the pandemic, wasn't that a time? Oh, the pandemic, wasn't that a time? My name it is Yankee. From Liverpool I came down to London in the spring for to make my name. For I had to learn to work the silver high up in the blade. I was carrying a sample of the finest I had made. I went into a London shop of fine cutlery and showed the man my handiwork. He just stared at me and called for a policeman, to whom he then did say, "This man's a thief, he stole this knife, please take him away." The judge said, "Son, you stole that knife right up off the shelf." Says I to the judge, "Sir, I made that blade myself. But I had no money, he a man of worth. He sent me to Van Diemen's Land, the bottom of the earth." We sailed out on the foamy sea, never to return home, with naught to do but sit below, chained to weep and mourn, and sit in our own foulness, starving to our deaths, till we arrived in Hobart Town, 11 of us left. 7 years was I a slave, then one day set free, and followed by a policeman who soon arrested me. From high up on his bench the judge said he'll be leaving soon, and sent me to Port Arthur that very afternoon. So choose your weapon wisely, boys, I'll make for you a knife. You're here in Port Arthur for the rest of your natural life. Prison is a place not fit for man or beast. There's no escape by land, by sea a man will freeze. It's here the prisoners build the ships of His Majesty's line, to keep the king in empire and the governor in fine wine. There's been a killing and no one knows whose hand took a life. We're short a man to build the ships, a new prisoner arrives. Here at the bottom of the world is what my life is worth. It's I who make the iron bars, enslaving all the earth. So choose your weapon wisely, boys, I'll make for you a knife. You're here in Port Arthur for the rest of your natural life. So choose your weapon wisely, boys, I'll make for you a knife. I'm here in Port Arthur for the rest of my natural life. Most of you folks probably remember back a long time ago when there was a big music festival in America. And I really wanted to go. But I had my first job and my boss wouldn't let me go. That's why this song is called I Didn't Go to Woodstock. Well, I didn't go to Woodstock. There was no way to get through. I've never been arrested for anything I didn't do. I never was a hippie, though I traveled with a few. When the highways closed, I went to work just like they told me to. Now you're not going to Woodstock. My boss, he sat me down. We're not gonna cover it, but we need you downtown. That's where there's a biker gang. And just the other night, they went into a Latin bar, and it turned into a fight. Well, I went down to the biker gang. They had a password at the door. I handed them a bottle. We sat down on the floor. The head man took a swig, passed it to me and said, now you, when it comes back the other way, you take a drink then too. They passed the bottle back and forth. I took a drink each time. Two for every one of theirs. I was feeling pretty fine. I went back to the office, wrote down everything they'd said. Passed out on the bathroom floor, wishing I was dead. I didn't go to Woodstock, but to the downtown bar. I showed the man my fake ID. He said, get on out of here. Outside the gangs were swearing on just as the cops arrived. They lobbed in a tear gas canister, and then a dog hit some guy. Well, you didn't go to Woodstock, but you heard old Joni's song. You couldn't go to Woodstock, cause you weren't even born. I went back to the bar at midnight, just as I turned 21. Happy birthday, said the barman. He knew I was on the run. No, I didn't go to Woodstock. Go ahead, say it loud. Nobody went there anymore. There was too much of a crowd. I never was a hippie, even when I tried. I wasn't there at Woodstock, but the dream never died. like all those groups like the Yardbirds and Who and the Dave Clark Five. Remember all those bands?
Yeah.
This is my attempt to write a song musically like one of theirs. Let's give it a try. Public smokes 2 packs a day, drives home from work on the interstate highway. After drinking 3 beers, cell phone in hand, he's doing 80 in his oversized van. But Joe's not afraid of dying from tobacco, drinking, or even his driving. Got the radio on, the reception is clear. He's hearing all the things he should fear. Joe Public is afraid of Al-Qaeda. They're coming to get him sooner or later. Joe Public is afraid of terror. It keeps getting closer in the rearview mirror. And all those illegals crossing the border, crawling through the desert, coming for his daughter. Joe Public's got a lot on his mind. Joe Public makes $35,000. Has 2 kids in high school trying for college. He walks in the door, their music is playing. He can't understand a thing that it's saying. But Joe's not afraid that his kids will find the handgun where he keeps it hid. Joe's afraid of the United Nations, gun laws, gay rights, and peace demonstrations. He went to Home Depot, but duct tape and plastic, in case the real enemy does something drastic, like mailing an anthrax and causing a panic, or requiring everyone to learn to speak Spanish. Joe's ready for freedom to happen when the government comes to take away his weapon. Joe Public's got a lot on his mind. Insurance costs more than his mortgage. The state stopped testing cars for emissions. Joe's glad cause he would have had to fix it. But Joe's not afraid of pollution. Thinks less regulation is the only solution. And don't get him started on healthcare. He says everyone knows it's a socialist nightmare. He's done with the truth. He supports a remission if they don't keep his gas under $4 a gallon. But why do they hate us? He can't understand. Well, we never ever did nothing to them. Joe can't wait for the next election to re-elect the guy who took away your pension. Joe Public's got a lot on his mind. There you go. Now every time I think of you, it makes me stop and listen. Songs may come and songs may go, but you go right on singing. You make a man feel bolder to see you stand so proud. And you look just like a raven, a raven on a cloud. Now take a walk down by the sea. The gulls and the children yearn for sailing ships out on the water. Some never do return. And I will take you by the hand and feel the four winds blow. look just like a ribbon, a ribbon upon the snow. Chances come and chances are we do not linger long, dancing down the water's edge, the waves break castles down, and I will see you safe to harbor. And if we never meet again, I'll remember you like a ribbon, a ribbon upon the wind. So you see, I only stand here braced against your trust. Touching you is touching me, I thought that feeling lost. And I will take you in the sand as the sunlight fades away. I'll remember you like a ribbon, a ribbon upon the grave. Oh, I'll remember you like a ribbon, a ribbon upon the grave. There's an old barn outside on the far edge of town where the ladies keep dancing so fine. Their smiles touch their ears, their dresses the ground. They got all their men in a line. And I thought for a second how fine it would be to get dancing and feeling so free. Take a few turns and I'd get me a girl, bring one of those smiles home with me. But it just looked too easy, just too easy to be right. And I'm out on the road, walking alone, one step ahead of the frost. And your baby ain't no baby anymore, he's doing the cross-country waltz. And I had a lover, she walked through my dreams, till one day she drifted away. And I got me a letter when some months had gone by, saying come back, I'll do what you say. But in our city I found a new wheel spinning round like a carnival half of the time. Though I'm walking alone now, counting my dimes, I think I'll just let her go by. 'Cause it just looks too easy, just too easy to be right. And I'm out on the road, walking alone,
one step ahead of the frost. And your baby ain't no baby anymore. He's doing the cross-country waltz. I got me a letter yesterday from home, saying how long you think you'll be gone. As I looked at the sun, it was warm in my hands. That letter slipped down on the ground. There's riverboats and drifters and a silvery moon, and the people, they all ask your name. And if you never left home, you'd never have to go back. But once you go back, you can't stay. 'Cause it just looks too easy, just too easy to be right. And I'm out on the road, walking alone, one step ahead of the frost. And your baby ain't no baby anymore. He's doing the cross-country waltz. Yeah, your baby ain't no baby anymore. He's doing the cross-country waltz. He's doing the cross-country waltz. Well, a snake he loves to slither, a cow is born to moo, a porcupine to quiver, in the morning loves the dew. The world loves its balance, as a gambler loves a chance, and all the boys love watching when the little girls love to dance. There's always a bigger fish and more than meets the ear, a fool born every minute, maybe there's one right here. The world loves its balance, and without a second glance, it sets the wheels in motion when the little girls love to dance. There was a man in my hometown one day said to me, "Don't I remember when you were just sitting on my knee, with a cowboy hat and pistols, your head all full of plans. I stole your guns, said stick 'em up, you threw up both your hands."
choir and organ chord, the good night at cathedral, and a well-tempered sword. The world loves its ballads, as psychics love a trance, and all the lights shine brighter when the little girls love to dance. There was a man in my hometown one day said to me, don't I remember when you were just sitting on my knee, with your cowboy hat and pistols, your head all full of plans. I stole your gun, said stick 'em up, you threw up both your hands. The mind loves the silence, the act of a curtain call. The trees live to lose their leaves and summer turns to fall. The world loves its ballads, the surfers love their tans, and all the bands play better when the little girls love to dance. Good lesson for America these days. You who sleep beside me here in this quiet night, do you ever wonder how you first came in sight? The bells of the cathedral were dying in the wind. You looked at me and smiled across your crowd of friends, and I felt a recognition, not of someone from the past, but of a true beauty that was meant to last. And I wanted to speak to you, or even say your name and get it right. You who sleep beside me here in this quiet night, now you who sleep beside me here in this quiet place, do you ever wonder at the futures we face? At the sound of thunder I look for shelter for two, and I walk through this world knowing I'll come to rest with you. And I feel a recognition, not a habit or right or wrong, but a feeling of arriving at the place where I belong. And I whisper I love you and leave you in your own state of grace. You who sleep beside me here in this quiet place, now you who sleep beside me here in this quiet life, do you ever wonder how you became my wife? The room was lit by just a candle. Over by the bed, you walked across the room, smiled and turned your head, and I felt her recognition, not a habit or right or wrong, but a feeling of arriving at the place where I belong. And I whisper I love you and leave you in your own state of grace. You who sleep beside me here in this quiet place, you who sleep beside me here in this quiet night.